If this does not inspire you, I do not know what will.
We need to generate 7 times more power than a normal person who runs.
Right.
And because I have a very short stump, so muscles are very less.
My name is Ayush and I'm here back with another episode of behind the scenes shoots that I do. Last episode I showed you a 4-year-old boy in the name of Sheikh Shahid and his elegant cricketing strokes. In this video, I am back with yet another person whose name starts with S, just like Sheikh Shahid. He is none other than Suvrojoarder. Needless to say really, but am I the only one who's actually following a pattern here? Or are people beginning with the letter S really special? Now there's another thing that starts with the letter S that is really important to me, and that is the subscription button below. Please feel free to smash the subscribe button. I think I should stop doing the S thing right now. Anyway, now let's proceed. As you guys know, this is the behind the scene episode. I would really recommend you to go and watch the real episode. I have put the link in the description box of the episode. Please go and check it out and then come back for this episode of behind the scene shots. He owns 2 businesses, he drives his own car, he plays the cricket, and not only does he play cricket, listen to this.
I got the captaincy for different India cricket team for the physically challenged.
Now a little bit about his backstory. In 2008 he was actually doing really well locally. He was getting runs, he was getting fame, he was getting name, but an accident actually took away one of his leg.
2008, I had an accident of my bike with the Tata Sumo, and somehow in that accident I lost one of my limbs.
Anybody else would have just said
Playing cricket or playing anything physical activities, it's actually not possible. My cricketing career actually got shattered.
but not this guy. At the moment I'm just talking out of respect. His adversity, he has turned it around, and not only did he turn it around, he is now the captain. Coming back to behind the scenes shots, we actually had another idea of how we outlaid this episode. We had a lot of things in mind, some of them being heritage and legendary clubs like Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Mohammedan Sporting. The issue was the time limit. See, when I had to edit this episode, I just had about 5 to 6 minutes. So I could not pile up everything together. So what I did was I chose to stick with Mr. Suvrojoarder's story because that was what we were aiming for. But then we also had the background of these heritage clubs just to support the narrative. Here are 2 clips of Mr. Chinmoy Roy introducing the place we were shooting at.
This is the Mohun Bagan Athletic Club. As you can see, this is the National Club of India. It has got team both in cricket and in football, especially famous for the football or soccer. As I said, it was founded in 1889 and they beat the East York Regiment in 1911 to make a historic moment in Indian football as the first club to beat a British team. This is the Mohammedan Sporting Club, and this is, you can see, has an old history. 1891 it was founded. Even this one has got football and cricket team, more famous for football.
If you ask a successful person on how they became successful, they will often tell you that they had planned something. And this is something that you can't do when you have episodes like these. See, the difference between a short film and an episode is that even if you plan in a film, more often than not you are in controlled conditions. You have people around you, it's more indoors. Even if you go outdoors, you have a certain way of doing stuff because you have the option of going and doing a Reiki before. So this episode is actually an example of how things could have gone wrong. See, this episode is one of a kind because we had a lot of adversities. The first thing that went wrong was, while shifting from ground A to ground B, we lost time because we were standing in two different parts of the ground. We went to the ground, we did not get initial access. Denied. Because the ground wasn't open yet. Second adversity was the weather. It was again overcast, and this time, unlike the other day, it was drizzling. There were major doubts to this, and it wasn't really going to plan. But then something really cool happened. And this is what we call perseverance. We did not stop there. We went on trying here and there, and we shifted. Instead of just waiting for that ground to open, we actually went to another ground. And we found that that ground was open. So even though we lost time, we at least got on with things. And although we did shift little things and it was an impromptu call right there and then, we did get on with it. He also mentioned two really important names. One is Sudha Chandran and one is Masuda Rahman. This episode isn't about them, but then I have to talk about them because they are that inspiring. Sudha Chandran is one of the best dancers of India, and she also has a really great acting career. And Masuda Rahman is the only specially abled person to swim across the English Channel. So these two are his inspirations. In fact, why his? The entire world's inspirations. Following these two people, he actually overcame his adversity. And to be fair to this, we were actually having a tough time. But it was his overcoming of the adversity which actually rubbed on us, and we kept trying and trying, and ultimately we actually got a really, really good episode. There was a shot right up there in the gallery. In the scenery we could see the Eden Gardens. Now for those who don't know, I actually have a little bit of a vertigo, which is I'm a bit scared of heights. So you know how the gallery was actually designed. There were gappings in between each stride, so you could actually see below that. And I have the camera in my hand, so I felt a little off balance because I was holding the camera with two hands. Every time I looked down and I saw that there was a huge space in between, I kind of little bit got scared. Not scared of falling down, but kind of scared of, imagining that my camera would fall. I think it happens to a lot of people. But then the minute I saw this guy just not complaining, taking each stride up there just for that one shot, I was like, what am I complaining about? And fair enough, because I think those are the little things that kind of led us to what we actually have in the episode. There were moments in the episode where if I have to compare with other episodes, we would have kind of been like, okay fine, let's just find an alternative to this because this is not really required, we can actually make do with this. We usually don't do that, but then if there are time constraints, or if there are some ways we can actually make life easier for us, we tend to do that because we actually work really hard to actually go to places, and sometimes when we do not get to what we had in mind, like I said that planning for an episode is tough. In this episode we did not let up on anything. We kept trying and we kept trying, and even if things were not really according to what we had planned, I feel that we actually got something even better than what we had in mind. Number one, we were late. Number two, we did not get access to the ground. Number three, well, there was no number three, because in number three, we actually stopped complaining. We actually went ahead with what we could do, with what we could get. Even if we did not get access to the ground, we would have done it somewhere else. That was the mood, that was the episode where none of us felt like giving up. So I started this video telling you guys that if you're not inspired by seeing this man, then I don't know what will inspire you. But that day it did change me a bit, and I've actually stopped giving excuses. When I have work, I do them. No, I actually do have a lot of excuses. That would be a complete lie to you guys, which I don't want to do. So yeah, I still have a lot of excuses in me, and probably I will, because that's how I am. That day we moved a lot. We shot in so many locations, and not even for once did he complain about anything. And I think that goes to show the attitude the man has and the level that he has reached just because of this attitude. In front of him, you will think twice, thrice, or four times before you come up with an excuse saying that, you know what, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this. Well, at least try. I feel that that has actually changed something in me, and not only in me, people who were present that day in the shoot, I think all took some sort of lesson that day.
Cause I've been counting the days, and I'm calling up to say I'm coming home.